Well, hello there. Um, my name is Joe. I've been a content creator for nearly 5 years. Um, don't do a whole lot on YouTube, but I am uploading today because I'm bored. I have a full-time job. Um, I do carpet cleaning and restoration for a living. I've done it for 20 years. The family business and all that good stuff. Um, so I stream on Twitch currently, as like a hobby, little side thing, and it's been so much fun. Well, for the first time ever, and the reason why I'm bored is I'm currently, today is week 1 of serving a 2-week suspension on Twitch. So I'll tell you the story. So we were playing this game called King of the Castle, and my channel isn't really controversial or anything like that. I also wouldn't say that it's a safe space. I'll explain in a minute. But I don't know. I'm I don't know. I just let it flow. I'm just real. I don't know. I just shoot it how it is. I don't really care about, and this is why it's not a safe space. I mean, I don't really care about people's feelings. Now, if you came into my stream, it wouldn't be like I would like destroy you or anything like that. I mean, look at me. I'm 37 years old with a receding hairline, streaming video games. Who am I gonna roast? But anyway, I don't know. I'm just real. I've been through a lot of shit in my life, and it is what it is. So anyway, we were playing this game called King of the Castle, and it was my first time hosting the game, but I had played it twice before on stream with a guy called Nick Applesauce. You should go look up Nick. He's a funny guy. He's a good guy. Really good content. He's on Twitch as well, and he's starting to do some things on YouTube. So you should look him up. All one word, Nick Applesauce. Anyway, he had 2 games of King of the Castle where he was the king in each one, and we ran different factions. If you don't know what King of the Castle is, look it up. It's a pretty cheap game on Steam. To play with someone else, you actually don't have to have the game. It's a lot of fun. It's a really good game. I would definitely play it again. It's not the game that got me banned. I don't blame Twitch. I don't even blame the guy who is the reason why that I'm banned. I kind of blame society. It's interesting, and I realize now, looking back, like I know exactly the turning point of the stream. We were just kind of getting too comfortable. I don't drink. 2 of the guys that were on the stream with us were. So here's the setup, and I already kind of had the template from how Nick did it. And it just makes the game really interesting to watch and to interact with. So it's a Twitch integrated game. So you actually join the game. You can join it in progress, and basically chat votes on things that happen throughout the game. So you can have a lot of other players, but I decided to go king as the streamer. That would be me. And then 3 of my buddies played other factions. So I actually, and we did like a full cosplay. Like some of us dressed up, some of us made ourselves look different. We all had accents going, and it's just a lot of fun. It's for good entertainment. And so there was this one faction that I had already played before called Grandees of the South, and it was probably the funniest one just because it really depicted southeastern United States. So like the cosplay for that had to be like southern. So you put in like a southern draw or whatever, and you just go for it. So I'd already done it once, and I decided to go the route of like an astute southern gentleman with an accent and a tongue made of gold, so I went that direction, and it was fun. And so when we did it, and my buddy did did the Grandees nuts of the South, the Grandees of the South. He did it more redneck, more white trash, so to say. And you see, even saying a word like that'll get you in trouble, even here on YouTube, depending on how you use it. Well, he had the whole setup. He was wearing cut off shirt, said Florida Gators across it, and he had cut his facial hair to be like that upside down horseshoe mustache. And it was funny. It was good. And he was very country, very redneck, was saying a bunch of funny stuff. Now, you would think. Now, of course, I don't have the VOD. I got banned for it. It was a 30-day ban, by the way. But I appealed it and said I was sorry and got it reduced to 2 weeks. My account was banned, and I was IP banned. I couldn't even get on my alt account. Well, I could, but when I would type in chat, no one could see that I was typing in chat. It was the weirdest thing, but that's what an IP ban is. So, and I actually could have gotten in trouble for that, like circumventing your original ban. I mean, I could have even streamed on that account if I wanted to, but I wasn't gonna push it. Whatever. I've been doing content for like 4.5 years with no break, really, like no substantial break. So this 2 weeks, it was okay. It was welcomed. Like I'm not stressing my channel or anything like that. You know, we have a really good community. We talk all day in Discord, so you know everything's cool. So anyway, now you would think with how he was depicting the South that he was, you know, getting racial or saying some derogatory stuff. We didn't go there. The joke was obvious. The joke was right there. You could have made it, but you know, some comedy is better left unsaid. You just let like the situation do the comedy for you, you know, and that's kind of what we did. So nothing racial, nothing at all. But I'm leaving out a major. I'm leaving out the elephant in the room, which is he had a backdrop, which was a green screen, and it was wood paneling. But on the wood paneling was a very realistic looking rebel flag, Confederate flag. Someone's gonna comment and correct me. I don't know. The red, white, and blue flag, that is the flag that was on the Dukes of Hazzard. Well, that flag has been depicted as racial because of the South, and the South was fighting in the Civil War for slavery. So it's like a right. Even that isn't historically accurate, what I just said. So, if you want to school some people in the comments, please keep it, you know, try to be respectful about it. But anyway, so that flag has been taken off. That flag used to be the state flag of Mississippi, Alabama, Mississippi. I don't know, but they removed it as a state flag. Or was it Georgia's state? No, it wasn't Georgia's state flag. No, or was it Georgia's state flag? I can't remember. Anyway, they removed it. They removed it from the Dukes of Hazzard. The flag is just, I don't know why people get sensitive. And that's what I was saying, like I blame society, because somewhere along the way people got really sensitive about this flag. So Twitch actually states in the terms of service, they specifically mention the Confederate flag. Because it's just, if you live in the South, probably about 20 years ago, everyone had that flag. maybe even a little bit longer than that. Everyone had that flag. White people, black people, didn't matter who you were. That was just a flag for the South. But now it's not the cool thing to have anymore. I never had one. My family never had one. But it didn't matter. Didn't mean that you were racist. I think a lot of people throw that terminology around too loosely too nowadays, but that's another discussion for another time. So the flag. We were live for 2 hours and 55 minutes, and the flag was his backdrop, and no one even pointed out the flag. No one said anything about it. Well, I was going back and forth with, well, maybe it took that long for Twitch to pick up that there was a flag, a Confederate flag on my screen, which was a bannable offense. Maybe it took that long. Maybe it took almost 3 hours for them to figure it out. I mean, because on Twitch, there's hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of streamers streaming at one time, right? So, yeah. But the more I thought about it, I was like, no, someone probably passing by, wanting to play King of the Castle, came by, checked out, seen what the stream was about, maybe didn't get the joke, or maybe they did get the joke, but they just wanted to report someone and be nasty. I'll tell you, I don't know what's going on here lately. The irony is that May is Mental Health Awareness Month, but I don't know what's going on here lately. But there is, I've been just hanging out in my buddies' chats more and more frequently now because I haven't been streaming. And the amount of people, not the streamers, but people in chat, just randoms who are so nasty. They're so nasty to other people in chat. They're nasty to the streamers. I watched a guy yesterday in probably one of the most chill channels on Twitch. I watched a guy come in, start running his mouth, got banned, made another account, ran his mouth, got banned, made another account, got banned, made another account, and then in that account he didn't speak on, but I think he was banned before he even got going. So the guy made like 4 accounts, and he was just so nasty and so negative. But I've seen it like in the last week. I don't know if I'm paying attention more or what, but I mean, it's like it's kind of like where Twitch was a couple years ago, like 5 or 6 years ago. It was pretty rough. But anyway, I got the email here. I'll pull it. Now, when you get banned on Twitch, it's very sudden. The stream's offline. Your stream key gets pulled down. You can't log back into your account, and you immediately get this email, which I did. I mean, immediate. I got pulled down at 9:35. Wow. I got pulled down at 9:35. I got the email at 9:34 p.m. on that night, and it says repeated hateful slurs or symbols, repeatedly using hateful slurs or hate symbols. And then I was like, I didn't record like an idiot. I wasn't recording that night, but I did have a I don't know where I was going with. Anyway, I was gonna say I don't even have a VOD to refer to, so I didn't get to watch it back. But I wasn't drinking, so I was all the way in control. So I knew if something was getting out of control, I would have stopped it. So I don't think we did. And it says examples of the violative conduct include, but are not limited to, spamming ASCII representations of hate symbols in chat, whispering multiple users with hateful slurs, repeating a hateful slur multiple times on stream in a short period of time. So, and then it says read the hateful conduct section of Twitch community guidelines. If you open that up, it literally refers to the Confederate flag. Do not show that on your stream unless it's for educational purposes. So I'm guessing that someone had to manually come in there and see if we were actually having a educational stream or not, which it definitely wasn't. Because I got to thinking, I was like, well, there's some games that actually have the Nazi swastika in their game. And they're not banned games by Twitch, so that's imagery on the screen that's probably on the according to them, on the same level as the Confederate flag. So I'm thinking that I guess it depends, but I guess someone could report you for that, and I guess they would have to see if it's just within the game or what. But I guess someone must have came in, reported it, and then they took action. Suspension length 30 days. Your services will be automatically restored when a temporary suspension is served, but the strike will remain on your count. And when you get a 30-day suspension, any subscriptions that you have that are auto-renew gets taken down, but anyone who's auto-renewed to you also get taken down. And I got to thinking about that. I was like, there's quite a few people that have auto-renewed subs to my channel that probably haven't been by in like 6 months. And I got to thinking, well, maybe they didn't even realize that it was still coming out $5 a month out of their account. I mean, I guess some people just don't look at their account that close, or they may have forgot, or they don't know how to take it off or something. Or maybe that's their way of supporting while they're not able to be in chat. I don't know. But in a way, it might be a good thing that happened, because there might be some people that have totally forgot about me and Twitch and everything, yet $5 keeps on coming out of their account. That's not really fair. So I'm in a way, I guess that was okay that happened. But anyway, so it says you can appeal. So I appealed, and I appealed that evening, and the next morning at around 5:40 a.m., I got an email saying, after reviewing your case, we can confirm that the correct enforcement was issued. Of course, I didn't say I was innocent or anything like that. Actually, in my appeal, I said, if you would please look over the VOD, you would see that we were just using an image to depict a character. It was a skit. It was a joke. We apologize. And I said, after reviewing terms of service, I do see that the Confederate flag is listed. So clearly I was in direct violation, but I would like to maybe have a reduction in sentence. And I'm sorry, this won't ever happen again. Blah, blah, blah. So they said, however, given the details of your case, including the remorse you expressed in your appeal, we have decided to reduce your suspension duration. Your suspension has now been adjusted to expire 14 calendar days after the time it was issued. So it technically would be next Tuesday, May the 2nd, and I guess at the time of like 9:35 or whatever it was. So I just said, you know what, I will start streaming on Twitch again that Wednesday, May the 3rd, is what I'll do. And it says attempting to evade restrictions placed in your account may result in additional penalties. So I just wanted to be able to chat in streams. I realized I couldn't log into my account, but apparently my account ban was 24 hours. And then now if I try to press live right now, it'll pop up and say invalid key. So I go to my dashboard, copy and paste the key. It's the same key. So I guess they're going to issue me a new one, I guess, next week. So I can stream again. Anyway, so that's what happened. But it was over someone reporting the flag on the backdrop of my buddy doing a skit of a southern person with the flag in the background. So that's my bad. I fucked up. So it is what it is. But, and I could get really mad at my buddy. I could get really mad at Twitch. I could get really mad at the person that reported it. I'm not really mad at any of that. I'm just kind of disappointed in society that we let something like a flag like control our emotions. Was it 2020? A lot of stuff happened in 2020. I believe it was 2020 when the riots were happening and a bunch of the racial stuff was going on and the police brutality and everything. And one of the responses to something, maybe it wasn't 2020, maybe it was before, I don't remember. But there were Confederate statues and monuments that were being defaced and taken down and toppled over and all that kind of stuff. Trying to say, like, how dare you have Confederate soldiers and generals and stuff depicted in statues, like you're celebrating them. So we want them all taken down. And it was Antifa, and I guess fingers of Antifa doing that stuff. A lot of people got arrested, a lot of people got in trouble, a lot of damage. I know the city local to here, which would have been Gainesville, Georgia, they had the SWAT team out there because there was a threat. They kind of stopped stuff before it got going, and they ended up a couple days later, or the next day or whatever, they ended up removing the monuments. So I'm just trying to figure out why history bothers people. Like, you can look at like slavery subjectively and try to put yourself in the time and state of how everything was then, and like I try to do that, and I still even think that it wasn't right. But you know, it was something that they were doing at the time. And it was a dark chapter in American history. And slavery is still going on to this day, and it's happened in a lot of places around the world. And in Ireland, they enslaved their own people. Africa sold their own people all around the world as slaves. I mean, that's what happened with the United States. Africans sold their own people. The Egyptian slaves, that was their own people. You can go back to biblical times, and they talk about Jews and everything else back then, and you know, there's been a lot of dark marks on history, but it still happened, and I think it's something that you learn from. We're so technologically advanced now. Now the need for slavery, they bend the rules, right? If you think about it, how the systems are set up now, we're still kind of slaves. If you think about it, it's different. It's a different world. But like, try not to work for a couple weeks. How's that going to work out for you? You know what I mean? So we're kind of slaves to the system, if you think about it. You know, of course, it's nothing like what they went through back then, and it didn't. You know, what's happening in society now. It's not gonna create the same racial divide in America, at least, that slavery did, because you got to think, when they ended slavery, what happened? All of a sudden, all those folks that were enslaved are now owning land. They're now mixing in society and everything else. So like, how do you think they were going to be treated? And of course there was good people that treated them as equals. And then you had people that, you know, they try to be good people, but it was hard to trust. It was hard to trust folks that you just had them enslaved. Like, what did you think was going to happen? And it created this whole issue and created a racial divide. I'm not trying to justify it for anybody, because there's nothing justifiable about racism or being discriminatory. But you know, this is that's what spun off of that, and it's unfortunate. And it just seems like it was such a long time ago, but it just seems like there's a lot of racial stuff that just has not come to fruition like you think it should. It definitely seems like there's some certain situations where and it's difficult to say, but sometimes some people don't have the same opportunities. And then you see in some parts of the country that everyone does have the same opportunities, whether whether you take initiative or not. So it's there is gray area. I hear these people going back and forth at each other, saying like, oh, some minorities don't have the same opportunities as others, and this, that, and the other. And in some facets, yes, but but I think there's been great strides to actually almost go the other way, where maybe majorities don't have as much opportunity, almost like to make up for the lack of opportunity for minorities back when. You can make an argument for that. I don't know. I have 2 kids, and they're pretty young. My son only has 1 more year of elementary school left. He's beginning to see how nasty kids are, and he's starting to hear some things that kids are repeating that their parents, that they're probably getting from their parents. And I am striving as a father that my kids ain't ever gonna get anything as nasty as what they're hearing from kids. They're never gonna get that kind of crap from us, like, because I'm not gonna. I don't teach them like that, My parents didn't teach me like that, and my wife's parents didn't teach her like that. And we had our upbringings, and and lived our childhoods, and there's some things that I think will definitely change going forward with our kids. But it all includes acceptance, and that goes beyond racial stuff. There's a whole bunch of other stuff now that you probably don't want to teach your kids, and it's getting more and more shoved in your face. Of course, I'm talking about, trans, and, I remember it was when I was coming up and I was just getting into middle school, even elementary school a little bit, it was a big deal, talking about, the gay stuff. And it was hard for a lot of us to wrap our heads around it, because for the most part, the majority of us, kids and my friends, like the majority of us didn't have any of those feelings. We weren't gay. And there's no problem with any of that. I just don't want it shoved in the faces of our youth, almost at a brainwashing sense. That's all. But as far as acceptance and understanding, I think that's crucial, for everything, because we are all different, and that's kind of what makes this all a beautiful thing. The human race. I think a lot of people lose track of that, is that we are all humans. So it did bother me a little bit that I got banned on Twitch because of racial stuff, and that wasn't even nearly the intention, but it was just because of a stupid ass flag. So yeah, but it is what it is. So we're doing the thing. We're playing the game, and we'll see what happens. And see, I don't know if I'm being targeted. I don't know if like someone's waiting for me to come back, and they're gonna try to like report every little thing now. We'll see what happens. I have backup plans. I could stream here on YouTube, even though I'd rather not. No hate towards YouTube at all, but I'd rather not. There's a couple other websites. I have an account on Kick.com. I looked at Kick. Twitch is not my first streaming platform. I started on Facebook Gaming. I went to a website called DLive.tv, which still exists, but it's not really what it once was. And now I'm on Twitch, and I just don't want to change again if I don't have to. But if I'm being targeted, and they start nitpicking me for stuff, and I get banned again or permanently banned, I'm either gonna quit streaming, which I really don't want to do. I've made so many amazing connections over the last 4.5, almost more than 4.5. Yeah, it's more than 4.5 years now. I've made so many connections, and really good people. Met some really good people. learned a lot about the world, you know, and that's that's great. So I don't really want to end it, but if the Twitch thing doesn't work out, and I mean YouTube's an option, and there's a new website I'm looking at called SharePlay.tv. It's not owned by anyone big. It's not a Google thing. It's nothing like that. It's not a Microsoft thing. I think it's their own company, but it's called SharePlay.tv. I made my name there. It's in beta. It looks promising, and you know that might be an option if the Twitch thing doesn't work out. Twitch is just so dang easy. Everyone knows what it is, and it seems like everything has a Twitch integration. You know, so Twitch is just easy. Downside to Twitch is they do take a lot of your revenue, but you know, it's the business model. Unfortunately, they are trying to give it back now with ads. If you haven't seen recently, you can run ads, so many ads per hour, and you get like a 55% shared revenue of the ads. And for me, I average between 10 and 12 viewers a month per stream in a month sampling size, and I make about anywhere from $15 to $20 a month on ad revenue through Twitch. So it's not great, but it's better than nothing. So one of the big reasons why I'm not like so quick to like go jump on Kick, because Kick is offering like this amazing cut, you know, is because I'm not doing it for the money. And I know all streamers say that so they look humble, but I'm seriously not. Like I have a job that pays me just fine, but I will say, and I'm not gonna and I've kind of fronted about this before and bullshitted my way through this conversation, but I want to be honest with you. If somehow, some way, I hit something big in the short content, because you know I have TikTok and I don't do the YouTube shorts as much as I should, but I have a TikTok. If something was to take off in the short content and it flooded over into the Twitch streams, and somehow, some way, I don't even know if I would even care to be partner on Twitch, but let's say it gets to that point, and then I start having like partnerships with companies or whatever, which I've had little ones, but it's the ones that like everyone has, you know what I mean? Like the energy drinks or whatever. But like if something was to take off with it, like it would be a pipe dream. It would be amazing. I would quit my job or just be a consultant for it or something from a distance and just do this. The content, I'm not gonna sit here and act like it's easy. I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like it's some fast track, like easy mode or whatever. But I enjoy the hell out of it, and it would be really cool. I'm not gonna lie. If it took off and was like more than a hobby. But there's a whole bunch of excuses I can make. I started really late. I don't really do anything unique compared to anyone else. I'm not overly good at the games that I play. I'm not, I mean, it is what it is, So, it would be a shot in the dark for it to happen. But it would be cool. I wouldn't hate it. Let's just put it that way. So, yeah. Yeah, there was a whole bunch of other stuff I wanted to say, but it's really but I think you get the gist of where I was going with all that. So yeah. So that's the update in my life right now. So we'll be back on content on Twitch May 3rd. I don't know if anyone out there remembers the old Wednesday My Dudes. I think it started in 2014. It's pretty old meme with the frogs and everything. But we will be doing. I've for several months now. My buddy mentioned it one day, and he was like, "Oh, it's Wednesday, My Dudes," and he had the frogs, and he had a couple like little clips and stuff. That was my buddy Woody. And I said, man, I forgot about that meme. I was like, what if we do that on stream every Wednesday? And so like I make an intro every Wednesday. So I stream on Twitch Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Sundays at 6:30 p.m. Eastern till about 10 p.m. Eastern. And on Wednesdays I do like a clip montage of It's Wednesday, my dudes, and it's a lot of fun. And this Wednesday, of course, will be like I'm back. The second week of every month, we do charity streams for the entire week. We'll be doing our 5th charity in May, which will be for the American suicide prevention. Because May is mental health month. So we'll be doing that. And every time I've set a goal of $100 donation goal for that, and we have smashed it every single time. In fact, the first month we did cervical cancer in January, and we went over $300, so that was really awesome. And this time I upped it a little bit. Instead of $100, I made it a $150 goal, so maybe we can raise a little bit more for mental health awareness. Yeah. But anyway, thanks for watching if you made it this far. The 36-minute video is kind of long. I probably could have edited this down, but I'm literally going to not edit out all my ums and ahs, and I'm just gonna clip it and ship it. So but thank you guys, and we'll see you over on Twitch, hopefully. Hopefully no more bans. But yeah, let that be a lesson to you. No matter where you're streaming, maybe stay away from the Confederate flag, even if it was a joke, even if we were kind of making fun of what people say that it stands for. We were making fun of that. We were making light of that. You know, because how I am is, if you can't joke, then I mean, what are you doing? And I always say this: you just gotta laugh at life. So, yes, but y'all take care, and thanks for watching. We'll see you out there.